And I'm also queuing up some wonderful photos of these rain shafts that are popping up that you can see off in the distance. So let's get right to radar, and then we'll obviously get to some other details in just a moment. But I want to start with the radar here, as of course that's what's most important, our high resolution radar, which unfortunately is too data heavy to bring to you on your phone for you to interact with yourself. So I'm sorry, I know people get frustrated that sometimes, well, why can't we have access to that radar? It's just way too data intensive for us to do that or even become close. We're just not there yet with technology and data speeds and whatnot. But I'm going to bring you the latest, where it's raining, where it's going, answer a few questions for you. I know some of you wondering what's going on. Let me, sorry, I'm just adjusting this right now. Got a lot of good KSAT Connect photos with this. Wait till you see some of these beauties that we got in. Woo, beauties. Okay, I don't need a picture of a porcupine right now. No. I mean, it's a good photo, but not at the moment. No offense. Okay, I think Mike used that photo in the morning. And there we go. All right, bingo, bango. Let's get right to it. What do you say, y'all? Let's do this. All right, what I like about this, it's just good soaking rainfall. A little bit of lightning and thunder associated with it as well. So thunder showers are what we like to call these. You know, they're only lasting about 30 minutes in any given spot. Now, some locations have had them last a little bit longer, but I want to start with the big picture. Don't do this to me now. Let me go readjust this. Start with the big picture, and the big picture, here you go. Gives you an idea of where it's raining, where it's not raining. And it's especially raining right over San Antonio. This is a good example of, you know how everybody thinks they've got a bubble over their house or over their neighborhood or over their city? Well, no, see, no bubble here, San Antonio, no bubble whatsoever. Now, what's driving these is the daytime heating, the sunlight that we had providing energy and then buoyancy to the air. And that buoyancy, as the sun hits the ground warms up, radiates that warmth into the air and warms up the air around us. That's what happens every day. That rising, warming air gets buoyant, rises upward, and then bubbles into the big, tall showers and thunderstorms. So heaviest action now right along 281. This is a 45-minute lapse here. And notice how it really developed around I-10 in Camp Bullis. And now I'm going to start on the north side, then move our way southward. And now this is all south of Bulverde, Timberwood Park. You've got the heavy rain. You get into Stone Oak. Could be some small pea-sized hail here. Non-damaging, nothing to worry about, nothing severe. Notice a few of these lightning strikes as well. Take a break from swim practice, soccer practice, whatever it is, don't worry. These will pass, and you know, once your 30 minutes is up from the last clap of thunder, you can get back outside. So no need to go canceling everything at the moment. Just because it's raining and storming now doesn't mean this is going to be lasting into the evening. Actually, in this kind of pattern, these are pretty short-lived showers, and what's developing and causing these is the outflow boundary from a downpour that developed in downtown even earlier. So then, boom, the outflow hit here, northeast side of town, from Garden Ridge, moving into Live Oak, over toward Windcrest, a very heavy rainfall. Madison High School, if you're getting out of school right now, you've got the heavy rain, a little bit of lightning and thunder around. Here are those lightning strikes. One actual cloud to ground strike, only, let's see, only 1.5 miles from the actual high school, from Madison High School. So I understand if you're trying to make a decision about practice or something, obviously start off indoors, but I do think if you don't mind some wet ground that you'll be able to get out probably within the next hour. I do think within the next hour you'll be able to get back outside. So if it's raining in your location right now, you got swim practice or something coming up in a little bit, just let this pass. Let it pass. These don't last all that long. They actually rain themselves out pretty quickly and efficiently. Let's go to Converse and Randolph Air Force Base right here. Okay, just outside of 1604 on the northeast side of town, far northeast side of town. And right in Converse, FM 78, this purple is not just very heavy rainfall, but possibly even little bits of pea-sized hail. Nothing major, nothing significant, nothing to worry about. Just gets louder. And speaking of loud, you've got one of the lightning strikes right there off Beach Trail Drive and Elm Trail Drive as well. So this is some of the heaviest rain. You know, we often put like a timeline on these to tell you when it's going to get to a certain location. These really aren't moving in any specified direction. They're really just developing eastward. So this is one of those situations I'm not going to put one of these storm tracks on it. Not going to do that because these are drifting. We don't have really a defined steering motion in our atmosphere. We're more so seeing a storm pop up here, kick out an outflow boundary, which then pops up another storm over here, which then pops up another storm over there because of these subsequent outflow boundaries. But what we're seeing is this development off to the northeast. There's actually an outflow boundary right about here. Right about there, we got an outflow boundary, and that outflow boundary is headed to the northeast. So I would anticipate if you're Shirt, Selma, obviously it's developing, but also New Braunfels, Greene, Marion, Zool. I think you'll be getting some development here within the next 30 to 60 minutes because of the outflows that are moving to the northeast. So it's really tracking the outflow boundaries and watching them as they develop the extra little lift in the atmosphere, kind of like a mini cold front, the extra little lift in the atmosphere to kickstart new showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rain on the east side of town, China Grove, over towards Sayers, Lone Oak. This is all just developing and developing eastward. Okay, this is the outflow boundary right here, that bright green color. Watch as it moves eastward. It's moving to St. Hedwig. So St. Hedwig, anticipate showers. Adkins, even Carpenter, showers to develop overhead momentarily. I know you can see the rain off in the distance, but if you're in St. Hedwig to Carpenter, even Lavernia, that outflow is almost there. Once you feel that puff of wind, a cooler breeze, then you're likely to have subsequent thunderstorm development shortly thereafter. So again, not so much of an actual movement eastward as there is just a development eastward. Does that make sense? Am I juggling? I don't know if that makes sense. But one pops up here, rains itself out, kicks the outflow, pops one up here, rains itself out, kicks the outflow, pops one up here, and so on and so forth. Maybe you get the idea now. I don't know. Whatever. What's Caskey doing today? Okay, Mitchell Lake, Buena Vista. This just flared up. I don't expect this one to last very long. But look, the outflow boundary got it going. There's the outflow boundary. See that faint green line? Watch, you'll see it move north to south. Faint green line. So Espy, Lemming, Fairview, Floresville. Floresville, you've got the outflow boundary headed your way. I can outline this outflow boundary for you. And again, this is the trigger. This is what's causing those showers. So Floresville, that outflow boundary, not very far away, my friends in Floresville. We're talking 5.5 miles, and it's already popped up a little shower right along 181, but of course has a history of popping up this kind of activity all around Bexar County. Good soaking rain, drought denting rain. Take that, drought. And aquifer boosting rain on the north side of town. Okay, let's focus here on the southwest side of San Antonio. And look at the last 45 minutes. This cell popped up right near and over Lackland Air Force Base, Kelly Field area. And it really just sat there for a while. So I'm going to switch over here since we had this heavy rainfall for about an hour here on the southwest side of town. We're talking 410 and Highway 90. We all know that interchange. And within this area near Lackland, Valley High even, probably some pretty significant rainfall totals. Let's take a look at the latest rainfall estimates. And yeah, this is right here. I'll go eastward in a second, but right along Military Drive and Highway 90, Kelly Drive and West Military Drive. Remember on this map, yellow means a minimum of 2 inches of rain. 2.1 estimated by the Doppler radar here, right along West Military Drive, just south of Highway 90. So basically Lackland. You get into Lackland City where it's still raining, and that's 1.1. Medina Base Road, well, let's sample it. 0.6. So impressive. I mean, these are efficient rainers. This is that tropical air that gives us the very, very heavy rainfall. And sometimes those bigger, I haven't tasted them, but the bigger fatter raindrops. When you get the tropical air, you get those big, fat, juicy raindrops that splat, 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 a lot harder than the little wimpy ones. And usually when you have a tropical air mass, you have a lower likelihood of hail as well. Yeah, some pea-size hail, but I'm not expecting anything severe, nothing damaging. This is all just good run-of-the-mill. All right, so near Mission San Jose, let's get into the neighborhood here, just west of Roosevelt Avenue, near Harlandale High School. Look at this, right along South Flora Street, 2.1 inches. 2.2 there. This is what we like to see. This is on Curtis, Trenton, South Cross Boulevard. If you're down there near the Missions, you've been through that area, or if you live around there, you obviously know what I'm talking about. Then along I-35 south of Highway 90, another little pocket here near Division Avenue of 2.1 inches of rain. So these have been some pretty efficient rain showers. And again, I'd expect them to last about 30 minutes in any given neighborhood on average. About 30 minutes and then coming to an end. Here's another look at this. The development eastward, not necessarily movement eastward. What's up, Producer Bill? What's happening?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing?
I'm checking out the weather.
Oh, you're checking out the radar. Yeah, good stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Now, what we get today is not going to be accounted for in the drought monitor that comes out on Thursday. Really quickly, we'll get back to radar, but I want to show you this. Whoop, there we are. And notice I still have the lightning on here, but the drought monitor with the extreme and exceptional drought over our area, especially the Hill Country, Medina County, Hondo to Bandera, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Comfort, Candelia, even over toward Fisher and into San Antonio. This is the worst part of drought, and we're going to put a good dent in that come our next drought monitor on Thursday morning. That will be issued. Okay, back to our action out here. Back to the heavy rainfall. And this is that kind of thing where just give it some time, let it pass, and then go about your day. This is not a situation where you need to stay inside, stay indoors. No. Just watch out for the lightning. That's really the only threat here is lightning. And whenever we have lightning, yes, we do get some power flickers and power outages, but typically nothing too significant for power outages. Okay, so this line, or this section, I should say, has really come together on the north side from Timberwood Park all the way to Selma. We're talking Rolling Oaks Mall here. You know, you got Home Depot, you got the IHOP. Oh yeah, baby. You got the IHOP right there. And cheaper gas stations, might I add. Yeah, like that QT right there. Anyway, bottom line, got the heavier rain that's set up here, and there could be a little bit of pea-size hail in here. I doubt there's really much, but let's just go 3D just in case, because we can. And we will. All right, so we'll look into this storm, get rid of our lightning, because that's not as big of a deal. Look at that one downpour that popped up. We're flying into him now, flying right into him. This one downpour, Clemens High School. This is Schertz-Cibolo, right? Schertz-Cibolo ISD, isn't that right? Anyway, this is right here between Steele High School and Clemens High School, West Borgfield Road. And we're talking the Borgfield Road just outside of Bexar County, not the one in Bexar County. But this one downpour, look at that. It's pretty cool how we can get this vantage point of that one downpour, huh? I love it. But switching over just to the hail, and this generally shows hail suspended up within the storm. So many thunderstorms have hail. Okay, doesn't mean the hail actually makes it to the ground. Quite often when it's warm out, and depending on the freezing level, how high above us the 32 degree Fahrenheit, 0 degree Celsius area is, depending on the height of the freezing level, a lot of times the hail melts before it makes it down to the ground. And that may be what we're experiencing out there. So you look up into this thunderstorm, and that purple, that's most likely hail, little small hail, elevated and suspended up within the thunderstorm. And really, I think all it's going to do is add a little extra moisture when it falls. It's probably going to melt before it falls. Notice you don't see this connecting down to the ground. Into the big supercell thunderstorms, different situation, Totally different, totally different. In the big supercells, you'll see this hail then whoosh meet the ground, but we're not seeing it really meet the ground. This is the radar echo of it basically up above, and yeah, there could be some pea-sized hail, but I wouldn't expect anything more than that. I bet a lot of it's melting before it even hits the ground. So that's our hail assessment. Oh, we got an updated scan there. Looks like it came together and organized a little bit more within the thunderstorm. So the hail, every hailstone travels up and down, basically in a loop fashion, essentially. Inside a thunderstorm, some of them get kicked off to the side. I mean, it's pretty chaotic when you have updrafts going and in these thunderstorms. There's another scan that just came in, and they travel up and down, and that's why when you look at a hailstone, sometimes they're clear, sometimes they're cloudy. Well, the clear ones, it's really easy to see how many rings it has, how many layers it has. Each ring stands for one time up and down within the storm, because it'll go up, gain moisture on its way up, then freeze at the top, get pushed back down, then get pulled back up, gain moisture, freeze again, and you can count kind of like the rings on a tree, how many times that hailstone has been up and down. Now, sometimes the hail is cloudy, and that's a different type of hail formation. That's the dry, basically the dry formation of hail. Let's put this into motion. We've never really looped the 3D, have we? Oh, hold on, I'm gonna switch this over. And the cloudy hail typically isn't, it didn't really work, did it? The cloudy hail typically isn't as destructive and powerful. It's not as hard. The clear ice is always the most solid, strongest ice. Whenever ice is clear, that means there's not much air mixed in, and it's stronger. That's why, like, when I go ice fishing, and if there's no snow on the ice, it's creepy, because the ice will sometimes be totally clear, and the ice will be like 6-8 inches thick, but you can see all the way down. You see weeds suspended in the water beneath the ice, and you see all the way down to the ground. And it's creepy because you're walking on it, but it's a good thing because clear ice is safer than cloudy ice to walk on. Conversely, here where we live, clear ice also means that it's a stronger chunk of ice. So it's not something we want to see falling from the sky as any kind of clear ice. That's the thing. But anyway, that's just a good example of how clear ice is stronger than cloudy ice. And so when hail is clear, typically it's harder. This is really set up. We're going to look at these rainfall rates right here. This is on the northeast side of town. This one's going to last a little over a half hour for you. That's for sure, because it is set up and it's not really moving very much. You're just going to have to wait for it to rain itself out. And speaking of raining, okay, we're near Rolling Oaks Mall right here. Amazon's got that big place going on there nowadays. And look at this, 7.3 inches per hour. Wouldn't surprise me, it's not going to rain for a whole hour like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if you pick up a good 2 to 3 inches just like that. Good 2 to 3 inches with that. And those high rainfall rates stretch all the way to Converse, right along 1604 as it turns around and goes to the east side near Randolph. And then right here near A.H. Beck along I-10 and 1604. You can see those big cranes and some of those big service bays that are like huge facility because they do heavy equipment. That's A.H. Beck, and they've got all that heavy equipment, big old augers like this big, huge cranes, like way huge. Anyway, that's where this is. It's just one of those things that you see off the highway quite a bit. And that's the heavy rainfall. Now, actual rain so far, this is going to be changing. Keep in mind, this is going to be changing. So far, we haven't tallied up a whole lot, but that's going to change. So remember, we're talking about those lightning strikes not far from Madison High School. This is still coming down at a very good clip, but right here in this neighborhood, we have picked up 1.4 inches of rain. And this is off Topperwine and Ridge Forest Drive, Hillside Ridge. Yeah, bam, bam. And right here at Ridge Forest Drive, it looks like not quite a cul-de-sac, but it just U's and loops around. And this is just inside 1604. We've already had over an inch of rain, and it's still coming down at a very, very healthy clip. So this one's probably going to last a little over a half hour. We're going to, all right, zoom around town a little bit more. I'm going to widen out this view. Timberwood Park, Stone Oak, still getting the heavy rain. I think you'll easily pick up over an inch in a good chunk of Stone Oak right along 281. This is building right now up into Bulverde, and I see this outflow boundary getting pushed into Smithson Valley. So Smithson Valley, you're up next And it wouldn't surprise me if you see this flare up around Sattler and Canyon Lake. And you get into the hills up here and the more rural roads and anticipate there to be some gully washers going on with this activity. Bernie, let's talk about Bernie. You had some downpours, especially near Fair Oaks Ranch and Scenic Oaks, but Bernie, you just got a quick hit from that heavy rain. And once this passes, yeah, there's going to be some light lingering rain left over, but come sunset, everything's going to shut off. That's the thing with this scenario. Sunset, everything shuts off. Even once you get the heavy rain, your odds of another dose of heavy rain go down quite a bit. It goes down quite a bit. But we had the heavy rain right here in downtown, and that was easily an inch to an inch and a half, even 2 inches south of Highway 90 within 410 and even within 1604, of course. All right, let's look at some other areas. Far south Bexar County, we've got one of our wonderful KSAT Connect users there with a rain gauge. So I'm sure we'll be hearing in from them. But look at these outflows right here. These outflow boundaries that are getting kicked down to the south. And these right here. These are the outflows. These are moving south. So Atascosa County looks like as these outflows move in, yeah, we'll have more thunderstorm development. This is a good example of a situation where we can say, hey, we'll have some pop-up showers and storms, but we can't tell you exactly where until they start developing because of these little outflows and which direction they get pushed and they move. Then we can subsequently say, hey, Poteet, Lemming, Pleasanton, Jourdanton, you're probably going to see some rain here and some showers popping up at least in the vicinity of you over the coming 30 to 60 minutes. Otherwise, we get off to the west in the hill country. Switching radar sites here. Don't want to neglect folks out here out west. Concan to Lakey. We got Garner State Park, which has really picked up a lot of rain over the past week or two. I mean, we're talking 3-4 inches in one hit sometimes. So Garner State Park right about here, and then that's just the heavy rainfall with it. That looks like it's going to get another hit. But between Lakey and Concan, then we get up into Medina County, or I should say in Bandera County, and then Kerr County, swapping over. And Kerrville, you've got some thunderstorms just off to the east of you, not a whole lot. It's just a lone little pop up there, and then off to the west. This one near Hunt may start building your way, basically from Hunt to Ingram into Kerrville. Yeah, it looks like that could start building eastward, but right now you don't have that. But I do see signs of that building eastward. Do you guys have to record?
Yes, we do.
All right, they got to record something here, so I tell you what. It's okay. It's all good. But I'm gonna.
There's a lot of frog stranglers out there.
A lot of frog stranglers.
That's right.
All right, so most of it's on the northeast side of town. Lightning is even intensified, so this has strengthened just a little bit. I want to point that out. There could be some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour within these storms. I know they're not severe, but a wind gust like that can, move around a trampoline that's not secured in a backyard, or even some lawn furniture that's not secure. This is, I think, our zone where you really need to be careful on the roads here, where we have the heaviest rain for probably the longest amount of time. 1604 from 281 to I-35 to I-10, all the way down to Highway 90 and about 181. So 1604 north and east side of town. Be extra cautious if you're traveling around there in the coming minutes or even a couple hours, because that's where we'll have most of the rain falling and ponding on the roadways. And then development towards Smithson Valley, you're next, then Canyon Lake. I also anticipate some development toward New Braunfels, Zool, and Seguin, but probably not for another hour or so. We're going to take a quick break, and as I leave you really quickly here for a moment, there's our live cam. You see the showers off in the distance, and look at these photos that came in on KSAT Connect. If you're watching us on the Weather Authority app, it's that little icon on the lower right. It says KSAT Connect. It's a little camera. Whenever we have these, see, look, a mixture of sun and then downpour, we always get good rain shafts. I love a good rain shaft. I really do. And these are the beautiful ones that you see from off in the distance. Just that plume of heavy rain. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it, David? That's a thing of beauty. Yeah, and this is near Bernie. Ah, there we go. That's another beauty. Oh, it's a beautiful one. I could look at these all day. Oh. North Star Mall, maybe? No, Ingram? Hard to tell. Maybe Ingram. Anywho, yeah, we had some good rain shafts out there. Send in your photos. Remember, just wait it out. Let it pass. Then you can get your afternoon walk in. You can get your soccer practice in. You can get your swim team practice in. I know I mentioned swim team a lot because my kids are on the neighborhood swim team, and so I know a lot of neighborhoods are having swim practice after school. All right, so we have to record a few things, and then I'll be back a little bit later to give you another update. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this radar on right here, okay? So y'all can see this and track its development as time goes by. Okay, thank you very much. BRB. That stands for be right back if you didn't know. But there was a report in this vicinity of some penny-size hail, non-severe hail earlier with this storm, but it does look like it's slowly going to be raining itself out. This is going to cause some issues along I-35. Expect delays here, as if there aren't already delays along I-35, but especially from 1604 all the way up just south of New Braunfels, but this is likely to build northward as well because that's where the outflow boundary is going. This is where we've had the heaviest rainfall. It's starting to taper off within 410. So Wetmore, Airport, Windcrest, starting to taper off, but it's going to be some time till the rain fully comes to an end. But the bottom line is the back end of this storm is starting to rain itself out. But that also is leading to areas of light to moderate rain lingering on the back side of this. And this could last for another hour or so and not really come to an end until we get closer to the evening hours. Now, this is what's interesting. We've got this big outflow boundary. Here's what I mean. Notice this line here. Woo, that wasn't a very good line. Let me stop it. Notice the line here. This is little insects, leaves, little bits of debris as in non-damaging, that get kicked up by the thunderstorm and pushed outward. And that's the outflow boundary. It's the wind. It's the puff of wind that comes out from the thunderstorm. It's usually a cooler breeze and puff of wind. And that's heading out toward Canyon Lake, right? Heading toward New Braunfels and Seguin and Geronimo, moving into Floresville right now. The direction of this is heading eastward and also northward and then southward here. So the importance of this is that once that hits, you can anticipate some storm development likely within the area shortly after that outflow boundary hits, and it's moving eastward at between 15 and 20 miles per hour. So I can give you an ETA here in Seguin, 420. I mean, basically within 15 minutes, you can anticipate it. Canyon Lake, it's about to hit New Braunfels. It's moving in right now. That's just the outflow boundary. Moving into Geronimo, McQueenie, and then look behind the outflow boundary, what develops. This is what develops behind the outflow boundary. And this is what has developed. Remember last time I was on, I said Lavernia, get ready, it's going to come. Well, here you go. It just developed right overhead in Lavernia. Some very heavy rainfall here in Lavernia. Anticipate more development towards Sutherland Springs and then eastward into Stockdale along Highway 97. Calaveras along 181, seeing these thunderstorms pop up and come together a little bit. No surprise, it's right behind this outflow boundary, which is currently in Floresville. That's where the outflow boundary is, moving through Floresville, right along 97 and 181. And remember, that outflow is headed to the southeast. So Poth, you're going to be getting it next. And shortly after the puff of wind moves through, that noticeable cool breeze, get ready for the showers and storms to develop. Poteet, Pleasanton, I anticipate some more development down here over the next hour or so. And then even on the southwest side of town, we've seen these showers develop. And really just light activity here in northwest Bexar County. These heavy downpours leave in their wake just stratiform rain, light to moderate rain, the good soaking rain. And that's what we have right now, the good soaking rain. Just be careful on the roadways. Let this pass I-35 from 410 all the way up through Selma, Schertz, and to New Braunfels. Give this some time to pass because it's coming down pretty hard. And we know I-35 and any rush hour just is not a good combination, but you add on top of it this heavy rainfall. So this is what we're dealing with right now. Again, this will gradually rain itself out. This is the most stubborn downpour that we have. Not such a bad thing. I mean, stubborn can be good when it comes to rain around here, especially when we're in drought. But this is the one that's lasting the longest. The others have been typically lasting 30 to 45 minutes. This downpour on the northeast side is a bit healthier and lasting longer than that. Otherwise, the development also in the hill country and off to the west. Let's take a quick look up at Kerrville. Last time we were on, we were saying a little bit development toward Kerrville is likely, and that's what we're seeing. Now we have this thunderstorm near Hunt and Ingram developing eastward toward Kerrville. A little bit south of Kerrville, but I still anticipate Kerrville high odds and probability. There's a new scan. There you go. Developed even more. So this is developing eastward. It's not really moving eastward. It's just developing eastward. Here's the last 45 minutes. And there's that development eastward toward Kerrville. Okay, this is all otherwise just some soaking rain. Let it pass, give it time. You'll be able to get back out and carry on with your afternoon and evening. Just let it pass on through. But then keep in mind, we have some of that steadier stratiform rain left over. Once those thunderstorms rain themselves out, there's still a little bit left in the clouds that then is just lighter in nature, but not producing hail, not producing lightning, and not producing thunder. So that's what we have. We got to get going for our newscast here. Get ready. I'll see you on KSAT 12 News at 5 because the radar, the situation's constantly changing, and we'll take a look at some of the rainfall totals when we come back on the news at 5. Thank you very much.